Dr. Toga Gabriel McIntosh is also on the high table along with the president. And so this signals that the program is about to start. So just get set. Maybe if you don't have sufficient data to watch us, you can try your best, especially for those in Liberia, and join the conversation here in Monrovia, Congo Town.
Marking the official closing of the National Economic Dialogue convened by His Excellency Dr. George Monrovia, President of the Republic of Liberia, under the theme National Economic Revival and Growth, Critical Issues, Challenges, and a Way Forward. We'll all stand now for the singing of the National Anthem.
Well, so all rise for the singing of the National Anthem. Well, that was the singing of the National Anthem of Liberia, and of course, the clamors of the National Economic Dialogue.
Chairperson of the National Economic Dialogue, Secretary Ms. Caroline Boa, for the reading of the consensus document.
So, Ms. Caroline Boa, she's the Deputy Chairperson of the National Economic Dialogue Secretariat. Well, so the chairperson will take the document now because Dr. Toga Gabriel McIntosh.
Economic Dialogue, and my name is Toga Gabriel McIntosh. Your Excellency, President George Monrovia, President of the Republic of Liberia, distinguished high-table guests, the acting Dean, the acting Dean, and members of the cabinet. But the Dean said it's not because the Dean was walking out of the house. You know, I was so excited there with the Dean and members of this cabinet. And may I just rely on the protocols that we established on day one and say, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. the national consensus on the revival and growth of the Liberian economy. Preamble. We, the people and friends of Liberia, assembled in the city of Montserrat, in the city of Monrovia, 4 to 6 September 2019, and held a useful conversation over the current issues and the challenges that are facing our economy. Over 350 concerned participants from government, political parties, youth, women, development partners, civil society organizations, institutions of higher learning were all engaged in this conversation. We note the many economic challenges and are deeply concerned about the hardship brought upon our people as a result of these challenges. We are also deeply concerned about the possible negative impact these challenges could have on the viability of the nation state and the survival of our people. Our conversation was focused on 4 interrelated areas. 1, the mobilization and management of public finance. 2, promoting investment and growing the private sector business. 3, tracking existing high unemployment rates amongst our youthful population and the shortage of appropriate skills. And 4, sustaining the peace and bringing about genuine reconciliation. We reached the general consensus that urgent and strategic strategies and programs must be undertaken by all stakeholders, all arms of government, private sector actors, non-governmental organizations, development partners, individual citizens, and our communities, all stakeholders. And these actions should be taken within the next 3 years, effective from now and the end of, I would say, 3 years from now. And the idea is to stop the rapidly declining economic trend and to begin a gradual but steady economic growth pattern. We recognize that for this to become a reality and to be meaningful, this will require a high degree of commitment, political will, and self-confidence and sacrifices amongst the Liberian people. This process begins with providing and responding effectively to 3 fundamental questions. 3 fundamental questions. 1, what is it that we, the Liberian people, want? What is it that we, the Liberian people, want? 2, how do we, as a people and government, go about obtaining these things that we say we want? And 3, are we really willing and ready to collectively do those things that are different to get us to where we want to be? We recognize the challenges facing the economy and the need to mobilize collective efforts while providing new strategies to augment ongoing pro-poor development agenda for prosperity that will be implemented in conjunction with our international partners to revive immediately our poor economic state and to lay the needed foundation. We thank His Excellency President George Manoria for initiating the dialogue and for his engagement. We also thank the UNDP, the EU, USAID, ECOWAS, LMPDF, all these acronyms, they mean a lot of things to us too, but that's how we call them. Then the UN Peace Building Fund, among other partners, and the Economic Dialogue Secretariat, and all of the supporting staff that have made sure that we have a successful dialogue. We, the people of Liberia, are pleased to submit the following practical initiatives and programs with a time-bound roadmap to be incorporated into the respective action strategic plans of responsible parties to bring about a speedy economic revival and growth within the next 3 years. These are doable things and vital for the survival and fate of the Liberian economy. 1, public finance mobilization and management. Immediate action, that is within the next 6 months. Complete the process for enactment of the Customs Code. 2, negotiate and restructure external debts. 3, quantify. Let me tell us how much. Quantify, validate, find out the truth behind it, all of the domestic debts, and negotiate around the findings. Recapitalize the central bank. Enforce existing fiscal rules. Ensure compliance with audit and other regulatory findings. Engage our partners to improve aid management and coordination. Enhance revenue collection with appropriate strategy for small, medium, and large taxpayers. Close the loopholes in our laws, our policies, and the processes to reduce leakages in the revenue collection side and the expenditure side. Significantly minimize exemptions and waivers. That's the immediate, so in the next 6 months. The medium term, 6 months up to the end of 3 years from now, reduce the inflation rate on the basic commodities. Stabilize the exchange rate by introducing new currency to build confidence in the economy. Increase productivity. Expand the productive base of our economy. Develop a comprehensive borrowing strategy, including domestic auction and bonds markets. I know all the kind of things sound economic, but I'm reading. And, and then we can talk, what some of them mean during the months and the weeks that I had. Develop a comprehensive strategy, as I said, for including, that will include our debt, domestic auction, and bonds market. It's something new, but it can happen in Liberia. Promote payment systems and digitization. Conduct an economic impact analysis on state-owned enterprises. State-owned enterprises, looking at cost, looking at the profitability and their service delivery. Fast track the automated and tax public finance management, that is, the integrated financial management system should be fast tracked. Second pillar, investment and private sector growth. Immediate actions. 1, direct government resources to the real sector more efficiently. To the real sector more efficiently. 2, encourage and consolidate public-private policy arrangements. It's public-private partnership arrangement. Let us encourage the PPP. 3, intensify ongoing efforts to retain Sam Darby Plantation and other investors in our country. 4, convene a tripartite discussion between the Central Bank of Liberia, the Liberian Bankers Association, and the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning to find an amicable solution to the impact of the salary harmonization on the banking sector. Medium term, provide policy direction and a responsive mechanism, something like a fund, to expand the agriculture and agro-business sectors. 2, institute a pilot program, a pilot agricultural stimulus program for 3 counties, at least, that are along the established growth corridors. 3, focus on mechanized agribusiness activities on short-cycle crops such as rice, corn, poultry, vegetables, cocoa, and oil palm. 4, explore and pursue the possibilities and the opportunities for expanded market access within the Mana River Union, ECOWAS, AFCTA, and AGOA. And as I said, all these terminology, we can clear them as we go along over the months. And 5, and implement the 5-year export strategy on tourism that was developed some time ago. 3rd pillar, on employment and skills development. Immediate action. Complete the process for the enactment of the National Youth Act. 2, institute a regulatory framework to govern the quality of TVETs, our vocational schools. 3, establish mandatory national youth program and cadet service. And in the medium term, establish national youth initiatives to rehabilitate and retrain youth that are at risk, disabilities, and those that are at risk in the poverty echelon. 4, expansion of the youth entrepreneurship program. And 5, provide incentives to encourage youth entrepreneurship in our country. The last pillar, peace building and reconciliation. Immediate action. Ensure the immediate reduction of tuition and fees in both private and public schools across the country. 2, accelerate the total and full implementation of the Liberianization policy. And 3, support communal farming to enhance social cohesion. In medium term, develop regulations and conduct an extensive public education and awareness program concerning the land rights and local governance acts to address illicit mining in our country. 2, implement the TRC report, including the establishment of the economic and war crime courts. Implementation of the proposals. The proposals I know the class was necessary. Proposals, implementation of the proposal. I think that class means I should say what I said, right? As a medium term, implement the TRC report, including the establishment of the economic and war crime courts. Implementation of these proposals. The proposals that we have just given should be tied to the cabinet performance contract. Cabinet performance contract. So, and the cabinet minister, the deputy minister, I say, go and sign their contract with Mr. President. You must tell them or tell her or tell he, here are your marching orders. 1, 2, 3. And that's what the people say. 2, strengthen the capacity within the presidency to monitor the implementation and outcome of the dialogue. 3, request that international partners support the implementation of the outcome of the dialogue when and where necessary. And 4, communicate progress and implementation of the dialogue to the public periodically. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Dr. McIntosh, for the reading of the National Consensus document. At this time, we have general remarks, and we'll begin with the private sector. So we have a representative from the private sector for remarks.
Dominated narrative.
The representative from the private sector.
That was the reading or presentation of consensus document by Dr. Toka Gabriel McIntosh. And so it's about time that those attending this dialogue from different sectors to make remarks. And so it starts with the private sector
will be followed by civil society organizations.
A representative of from the private sector. So I think everyone will be represented. So let's now go to the podium where this gentleman will introduce himself from the private sector.
Sorry that we're not prepared the way we should have been prepared. So it's a conflict. But let me just take this on behalf of the private sector as a direct representative of the private sector of the Republic. to tell you, Mr. President, thank you very much for this identical program. This is something that we have been waiting for long to see it happening, that we can discuss issues to see how our country move forward. We believe such a program should not just be only one, but it should be a continued process where we come over to discuss our issue. Thank you very much. I will not take much of your time. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. When I have the representative from civil society organizations.
Liberia, thanking President George Weah, thanking President George Mane Weah for this event. And so, this lady, earlier on, she presented on behalf of her group.
Good afternoon, everyone.
She moves to the
Permit me to stand on the protocols that have been laid already. Mr. President, we are honored that we are part of this very, very important initiative in our country. My name is Dorothy Kwena Tome, and I'm the Vice Chair for the Civil Society Council in Bond County. This is the kind of initiative civil society will look very much forward to. It is difficult, it is expensive, but there's value in citizens of the same community, the same country, sitting down, looking at the issues that face them, looking for ways to deal with the issues and making recommendations to themselves and to their partners. We believe as civil society we have a lot of potential to drive this country to the best that we want it to be. Liberia, a nation we think has long been awaiting this force from us. And as we sit here over the last 3 days, we are saying to you and to ourselves that it is our commitment and our hard work, our sacrifices, and allowing us to step out of our comfort zone that is going to help us to move this country forward. We're very much aware that there are things that we do comfortably, but over the years, the results have not been positive. How can we continue to do those things again and again and again and expect a different result? What we're presenting to you here is the voice of the people. The hardship we're talking about, people are crying out there. We are in the communities. We listen to people. People are left to struggle alone in their challenges. We will work with you. Civil society is ready. From our end as civil society, we will do all we can to lift Liberia. But we also trust that you, the rest of our partners, will be committed in playing your role. Thank you very much.
Well, she's Madam Dorothy Kwena Tome. I hope I got that last name correct. So,
Thank you very
Madam
much,
Dorothy,
Madam Timon.
well, made a
At this time,
strong
we'll call
statement
Madam
stating
Mandela
that the
Cooper
private sector
to make remarks on behalf of the
strongly
political
support
parties.
the president's agenda. That's the PAPD. So, former presidential candidate Madam Magdala Cooper and former senatorial candidate in the just ended Montserrat senatorial by-election walks to the podium to make a remark. So we join her now to make this
may
remark.
I also ask to stand on already existing protocols. And I must say, I am happy to see a woman finally sitting on the stage here. The first day was a bit risky when I saw all men and no women. And so, Ingrid, Ambassador Ingrid, thank you for filling in the gap for the women. Although you're not Liberian, but you're our sister. So thank you. Well, I don't have much to say. This is totally unexpected. But I'm happy to represent the opposition group. Mr. President, I stand here to say that we are all here to support you in doing what you can for our nation. We don't stand against you. I don't think any Liberians stand against you. But all we want is to see this nation move forward. Liberia is the only home we will ever have. We are compelled to stay here. We have nowhere else to go. The current economic hardship is something that no Liberian is satisfied with. And since you're the head of state, all of the problems rest on your shoulder. And this conference, this dialogue was extremely important. We are all here today to say we are standing with you, but we ask that your political will stand stronger than your own personal desire. Our mothers, our fathers, our traditional leaders, our children, every citizen of Liberia is counting on you right now. We need a better arrangement. Our young people are looking forward to a future. They need quality education.
Amos.
We need jobs.
Amos.
We need our economy to do better for us. And we know you can do it. And I must say, since you are the feminist in chief, I would like to see more women in your administration. So, Mr. President, the people of Liberia, even as the opposition bloc, we are counting on you that this dialogue will not just be a talk, but there will be action immediately taken after today. And with that said, I don't want to hog the stage, so we're counting on some immediate action, some midterm actions, and some long-term action right after this dialogue is over. Thank you very much.
Thank you so kindly, Madam Cooper. We now call our development partners for remarks.
With that statement, warning President Joshua, or cautioning President Joshua to keep the ball rolling right after this. So Liberia's development partners will be represented by Madam, our Ambassador.
Allow me to stand on existing protocol.
So let's join her.
And allow me to congratulate you, all of you, for these deliberations. I spent most of the last 3 days here, walking in and out on different groups, trying to hear what kind of dynamic you have and what arguments are coming forward. And I saw and heard true engagement. Those of you who spent the days here, you care about your country. And that is good news for partners. I've been asked to represent the partners. Sweden is a member of the European Union, but I do represent all the partners. And we are proud to be linked to an exercise like this. It has been good in process, and we wish to congratulate and thank Dr. McIntosh for his work, for all the pre-consultations, and the care that he took to use work that has been produced by previous generations and in other exercises. There is no lack of knowledge about Liberia. What I think is a lack of consideration and debate among you what you don't want to do with the knowledge. And this has been a good process. I believe the substance too is very interesting. To me, it looked like the entire political agenda, all the things that we look at, all the things that we follow, and all the things that you truly need to deal with in order for Liberia to move forward. I wish, of course, to remind you, Mr. President, of the importance of women. Macdella had a strong plea for this case, but I think it is a no-brainer that if you're using your whole population and not just half of it, you will walk longer and you will walk speedier on the path towards the future and towards development. You can count on the support of the partners in the implementation of this, Mr. President. We're here to see you succeed. We want Liberia to succeed. You're a country full of beautiful resources, good people, young people, energetic people, and they're not asking for anything else but the opportunity to get flying. And we believe you can make them fly. I thank you.
Well, we listen to her. The partners of Liberia will stand by, or will stand with President George Weah in
members of the diplomatic corps,
implementing
members
the
of the clergy,
outcome of this
additional leaders,
conference or this dialogue. And
officials
so
of government,
she reminded
chairman
President
and
Weah
members of
to
the
also
Independent National Dialogue Secretariat,
consider women empowerment.
the leadership
So
of
this
all
time
other
around,
international
Madam
partners,
Finda Bondo is now
special
introducing
guests, marketeers, students, members of the Fourth Estate,
Madam
distinguished ladies
Bondo
and
is now
gentlemen.
introducing the
At this
president.
time, I ask that you arise as I invite to this podium the President of the Republic of Liberia, His Excellency Dr. George Manaria, who will not come and make us.
President Weah will now make a remark here, and so his file has been presented to him. He's now on the podium behind the microphone. So those in the audience will now take their seats, as you see. So the president gets ready now to make a remark. I know all of you, you've been patiently sitting and waiting to hear from your president.
The
He's
dean
now
and members of the
behind
cabinet,
the microphone, so you can take your pen
Don and
and
members
papers
of the diplomatic
and listen
corps,
to the president.
bishop, prelates, and members of the clergy, chiefs and traditional leaders, political and business leaders, officials of government, the chairman and members of the Independent National Dialogue Secretariat, the leadership and representatives of our support partners, the National Economic Dialogue, including the UNDP, USAID, the European Union, and ECOWAS, distinguished panelists and moderators, special guests, marketeers, students, members of the Fourth Estate, my fellow citizens, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. The VP extends her greetings to you all and thank you for the great deliberations. She's on her way on a special mission. So I want me to convey that to you. We have now come to the end of this historic National Economic Dialogue Conference on the Liberian economy. From all indications, I have learned that discussions and debates during the various high-level panel discussions and breakup groups deliberations were focused and frank, and that there was a robust exchange of views and the cross-fertilizations of ideas in the search for practical and acceptable solution to the persistent problems which beset our economy. This is clearly evident by the contents of the stakeholders' consensus document which has just been read, as well as the general remarks just made by the representatives of the private sectors, civil society, and the UNDP, which are preceded by closing remarks. In my view, you have well fulfilled your mandate, which were twofold. Firstly, to stimulate a broad-based conversations among all stakeholders within Liberian economy concerning the best and most feasible way forward to sustainable growth and development. And secondly, to derive out of this dialogue a roadmap that will set out a clearly defined and practical set of policy measures, strategies, and programs that will be aimed at enhancing speedy economic recovery and ensuring sustained economic growth. These proposal measures are clearly set out in the consensus document, which has just been read. And in the implementation matrix, I want to assure you that my government will take these proposals into urgent and careful consideration. Our focus will be on implementations, although timing will be matter for synchronizations and harmonization with existing programs and policies. To this end, we will establish 4 implementation subcommittees of the Cabinet in congruence with the 4 major topics that form the agenda for discussion during this dialogue conference, namely, the Cabinet Committee, Public Finance and Management, the Cabinet Committee on Investment, Promotion and Private Sector Growth, Cabinet Committee on Youth Employment and Skills Development, and Cabinet Committee on Peace Building and Reconciliation. These 4 cabinet committees will be tasked the oversight on harmonizations and implementation in these 4 areas, and will report to the 4 cabinet from time to time on their progress. Ladies and gentlemen, the deliverables from this national economic dialogue consists of much more than a summary document that have been presented at this closing section. There is, for example, the entire set of conference minutes and records containing speeches and presentation, as they form the body of evidence for which the consensus document has been distilled. It is my belief that they should be preserved in an archive of it now to be permanent independent secretary for National Economic Dialogue. Additionally, I wish to propose that the National Economic Dialogue Conference should take place on an annual basis. In order to conduct an annual review of the progress that has been made on implementation of the roadmap presented here today, as well as to analyze each year current economic situation so that the necessary adjustment, revisions, and amendments can be made to programs and policy. Furthermore, I wish to announce that I will shortly appoint a High Council of Economic Advisor in the office of the President. This High Council will consist of both Liberian and international experts, renowned for their expertise and experience in their respective discipline, who will serve on a voluntary basis. They will be required to meet on a quarterly basis to review our economic policies and programs and advise my government accordingly. Let me put you on notice that several of you who have participated in this national economic dialogue will be tapped to serve on the High Council of Economic Advisors. So let it not come as no surprise to you. And now, I wish to thank all of you for your participation in this important conference, especially those of you who travel from far. I wish to assure you that your efforts and contributions to our national economic dialogue will not go in vain. I will ensure that the people of Liberia reap positive benefits from all that you have done here over the past 3 days. In closing, let me remind all Liberians, regardless of political affiliations, religion, creed, or tribe, whether resident or in the diaspora, that we all have a responsibility and an obligation to contribute our ideas and suggestions for the revitalization of our economy. We are all aware of the problems, most of which have existed for a very long time, and we have all suffered because of them. But this is not the time to point fingers, to apportion blame, for this will not solve anything. In fact, it is our very awareness of the extent of the problems and the hardship that they have caused that move us to seek leadership in order to try to resolve them. And I have the responsibility as well as the opportunity to find a new way forward. I welcome your constructive criticism, but more importantly, I invite your positive contribution to this national dialogue. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I am a female in chief. And I say it, and I am. Every time the female, they are not comfortable, they approach me. But I just want to state here that more than one woman is more. So when they address the female chief that we need more women, even if I had 10 in the government, it's more than one. So we have more. But if you stay here to me and say we need additional women, then I can guarantee you we're on the way to employ additional women. So we have more women in our government, but we need additional women in any capacity. We are on the path of bringing additional women. Fellow Liberians, working together, we can make a difference. Let us always choose dialogue over confrontation and work in harmony to strengthen and sustain our high-end peace. Because without peace, our war will be difficult. May God bless you. I thank you.
President George Weah there and be listening to listened to the Liberian leader. He spoke of several issues. According to him, he's ready and he's assured the people of Liberia of a careful and urgent consideration of the findings from these events here in
Thank you so kindly, Your Excellency.
ministerial complex. He says his government will focus on implementation.
At this time, I now invite the Deputy Chairperson of the National Economic Dialogue, Madam Caroline Boa, for vote of thanks.
His government will establish 4 implementation subcommittees. Implementation of, and so as we go on, we will continue to give you some of the pieces of information. But Madam Caroline Boa, she's the Deputy Chairperson of the National Economic Dialogue. She's now behind the microphone, so we give her.
All protocol observed. On behalf of the National Economic Dialogue Secretariat and our collaborating partners, I have the honor, first and foremost, to thank His Excellency George Manenwia for his foresightedness in convening this dialogue and entrusting us with his organization and conduct. I would also like to thank the Honorable Minister of Finance, Planning and Development and his team for the leadership and guidance throughout the planning process. Special thanks to Dr. Pa Lamin Beya and the UNDP family for providing us the enabling environment to support this process. I would like to thank all our development partners for their financial, technical, and moral support, without which this event would not have been possible. We remain grateful for the immense contribution from the UNDP, the EU, USAID, ECOWAS, CEDA, UN Peace Building Fund, and other UN family members, the World Bank, IMF, African Development Bank, amongst others. To the government of Liberia, and particularly to the office and officials who participated fully over the 3 days during this dialogue, we acknowledge your contribution and commitment and would like to thank you profoundly. To our participants, those who traveled far on very difficult roads to make it to Monrovia, we thank you very wholeheartedly for being part of this historic event. And we wish you safe return to your counties. To other agencies of government, in particular Ministry of State and Foreign Affairs and the Security, the GSA, Madam Mary Brown and her team. For hosting us well. We are the first to be using this facility. To other service providers, we thank you for your support in ensuring the success of this program. May we also express our special thanks to our experts, the panelists, moderators, and resource persons who have provided their expertise and time to this process. They ensure that we have quality outcome from this exercise. Finally, to our National Chairperson, Dr. Toga McIntosh, and our team members, the media, logistics, the UNDP administrative team members, for your enormous dedication and commitment to ensuring the overall success of this program. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Madam Boa. We'll all stand again for the singing of the national anthem, after which we'll have photo shoot coordinated by the Executive Mansion Protocol. It is my distinguished honor to inform you that the Minister of Finance and Development Planning, Honorable Samuel Tua, is celebrating his 7th wedding anniversary. And we say congratulations to you, Honorable Tua. The participants are asking for the party. Okay, we'll now have the national anthem. Thank you. You may have your seats as we have the photo shoot.
As you all are aware, a lot of them have already done the photo shoot. So today is not going to be the chiefs and traditional leaders. The chiefs and traditional leaders only. Our chiefs and traditional leaders. Can you please come up? Hello? What, Jordan? Can we divide it into two groups? Plenty.
Why you coming so close? Well, folks, this is how it ended here at the ministerial complex in Painesville. But you listen to the president, George Manuel Weah, in his statement, a short statement, relatively short statement. He spoke of several issues, and some of the things I grabbed from the president's statement include his assurance to the Liberian people and international partners that his government will carefully and urgently consider the outcome from these events here in Congo Town, the National Economic Dialogue. According to him, his government or his office will establish 4 implementing subcommittees, and he named those various committees in the 4 areas. Briefly, we will try to talk to Dr. Toka Gewie McIntosh. He's the chairperson of this National Economic Dialogue. Dr. McIntosh, he will tell us how did it go. I see him, he's in conversation. These are some of the traditional leaders that form part of the closing statement. The closing statement here. Sorry, that's the closing event. We want to thank you guys. Like others are saying, so these chiefs just left the main stage where a photo shoot is currently taking place. I'm still trying to make efforts. To talk to Dr. McIntosh, but I think he's somewhere a little far from us. But we want to thank you so much for joining us. My name is Emmanuel Davis on behalf of the entire team. Daniel Jackson, Josiah Weah, Emmanuel Dojayine, and of course Amos P. Kozawu, Alex Wiapla, the rest of the guys. Many thanks for joining us. KMTV brought you all of those images exclusively for you. Many thanks for joining us. I'd like to say good day from here in Congo Town.
It's not a problem I get with Chiefs. Since today, I sent John to go buy me $2 on wish to activate my data pack. Up to 9 in that is incoming.
Luis, with orange money and the name Mola in my orange money account. Data benefit not worry. No, as long as you pay LD data follow, you will get 1,000 Mikaba for whole 7 days. Yes! Mama, all you need to do just star 144 # orange will send you message on what kind of money to use, whether like USDO or like LDO. Just choose the LD wallet and choose number 2 to buy bono. After you choose number 2 to buy bono, orange will send you message whether you want it for yourself or you want it for your friend.
That's for myself.
After you select you buy it for yourself, choose number 4. With 150 LD, you will get 1,000 data bono for 7 whole days. Enter your PIN code to confirm the transaction. You will receive a message about a successful transaction. Then you're ready to make data calls and browse the internet.
It's all about what matters to you. Orange.